Guys, I seem to have lost Mr. Elijah. I think it's a bad connection or something. I don't know. I don't know if it's on my side or on his side, but let me try and reconnect with him. Let me just try and reconnect with him. Mr. Elijah, I lost you. I lost you. Can we just try to reconnect, please? I'm not sure if it was on my side or on your side. Okay, there we go. Mr. Elijah, are you there? Are you there, sir? I'm trying to reach out to you, but I can't seem to be. Okay, let's see. Can't seem to be getting hold of you. Okay, there we go. Go.
Le Satani does not want gore re bolele ka manyalo, o na le mona. Anyway, we keep pushing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So I'm so sorry. Like I don't know what happened. If it's my connection or your connection, I don't know what happened there. Okay, that's a nice view. So like as you talk to people, couples and individuals, what do you find to be the most interesting or to be problematic when it comes to couples and individuals? What are they missing?
You know, Sir Charles, the challenge here is not that we are missing something, but the challenge here is that we've got a lot of things that are toxic and we are not willing to offload those toxic traits. Now, why am I saying this? You need to understand that each and every human being, so there are two things that affect you as a human being. So it's your DNA and the environment. So it's your biology and the environment. So those two things affect you a lot. Now, each and every one of us, when we grow up, we get programmed, in our environment. So there's a certain way that you learn to do things that get, embedded or engraved how you are programmed. Now, you find that people have been programmed in the most toxic way that they are not prepared to change that. They still believe that their way is the right way. And for as long as you believe that your way is the right way, you are missing out an opportunity to see other people's perspective. So the issue here is not what we are missing, but it's what we are loaded with that is causing problems. And you find that many people are not willing. That's why in Christian principle, you hear that the Bible says, 10, it says, let go of the old man and put on the new man. Because the old man is no longer conducive for your new relationship. But you keep using him in the relationship and he keeps taking you back to the old ways of doing things that you are not prepared to start doing things in a new way to accommodate the new person who came into your life. That's why I always say that many people are still dealing with their exes in their marriages because why? They are accustomed to doing things in the past ways that they used to be doing that. Instead of them saying, hang on, I need to let go of this old person because she or he is no longer serving me positively in this new dimension, in this new dispensation. But they
Mhm.
keep forcing that particular person into the new dimension, whereas they cannot function. Take, for example, if you go and you look at the old technology that we used to use. I mean, you're not going to rock here with a desktop computer and put it there and come with a lot of cables because why? The time for that has passed. You know, we use the new technology now. It's your smartphone, it's a connection there, and that's it. You know, but many people are
Mhm.
bringing the old desktop, you know, to their marriages, and it's not working, and they are refusing to change that as a child. That's where the problem is.
Okay, so it's interesting that you mentioned all technology because I was watching this video the other day, and this guy was talking about how marriage has become irrelevant, you know? So, as a marriage counselor, relationship counselor, like a life coach, do you think that marriage is still relevant?
When they say marriage has become irrelevant, uh, at what point? That's the question I need to ask. Because
Mhm.
for as long as we we are human beings, if I take you to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we
Mhm.
have a need called a social need,
Mhm.
and we have a need to also have children, and we have a need to raise those children in a safe and secure environment. And a proper way and the right way of doing that is when the mother and father are in the same space under the guise of marriage, because we
Mhm.
also need to make our children realize that you don't just go around, doing the fat and set or cohabitation. You gotta do things
Mhm.
in the right order. So there's no way, and there's never gonna be a point where marriage will be irrelevant, because the beginning of life, signifies the beginning of marriage. That's why you see the first man was not happy when he was in the Garden of Eden, and God had to make a companion for him, because even with the greatest things that he had at the time, the gold, the diamonds, the rivers, the whole planet, he was still lonely. He could not
Mhm.
function on his own. That's why God said, let me make a suitable partner for him. So whether we like it or not, marriage will never be out of fashion, number one. People have been getting married for a very long time and getting divorced. Divorce is not a new thing, Charles. People try to make it as though it's a new thing. No, 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 no. Social
Mhm.
media makes everything accessible. People have been divorcing for a very long time that we never knew about. So
Mhm.
marriage is going to thrive. People are going to get married, and we're going to help them to remain married. What is needed at this point, Charles, is that we need to intensify our efforts in marriage education. That's what we
Mhm.
are missing in our society. And marriage
Right.
education should not happen when people get married. Marriage
Mhm.
education should happen when people start thinking of dating. So we start to teach them about dating habits, and we get them into a courtship, and then we get them into marriage, and we get them into the progression until now they have got the children of their own. They are becoming now grandparents and so forth. Unfortunately, in our country at this point, we don't have stuff like that. So that's what I'm basically spending time doing. I am not more into the reactive ways of doing things, but I'm trying to be proactive. Let us introduce marriage education at the school level, at the high school level. We do that because people start at the end. They start by having children, and then only then they want to have relationships. No, 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 no. It doesn't have to be like that. We need them to have relationships, understand why they are together, understand why they should have children, understand what it means to have children, understand what it means to be with somebody, understand what it means to bring somebody in your life, understand that when you bring somebody in your life, that person will have their own baggage of whatever. Then we need to teach you how to deal with your own baggage while we teach you how to understand another person's perspective. We don't have that at this point, and that's why you see many people divorcing daily, because they go in marriage with the hope that marriage is a bed of roses. We're going to go there, have
Mhm.
fun, have a lot of sex. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot of work that happens, because why? Marriage is not external but internal. Now, when the
Mhm.
internal environment is toxic, there's no way. you can have an external environment that is conducive.
Ah, right, right. So important. So the right mindset going into a relationship, going to marriage, very important.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
You know,
uh, you'll be so shocked. Let me give you a simple example. You are
uh-huh,
doing this podcast on Sundays. Can I
uh-huh.
tell you that it just did not happen overnight? You first planned it in your mind. For
True.
days, you've been planning it. You are planning who's going to be the next guest on my show. It's happening in the mind. Now,
Yes.
and the mind can say to you, don't waste your time by going to Elijah because you might not, win him over. If your mind starts saying that to you, you will find yourself giving up because maybe it might not work. But everything happens in your mind. If your mindset is messed up, that's why I always say to people, go around and look at your relationships. You are not attracting wrong people. You've got a wrong mindset. Your mindset is messed up.
Right,
So you are
right,
attracting what you are creating in your mind. So even when you go into marriage, there are people who are in good marriages, but they are unhappily married. Why? Because they go in that marriage to go and look for something wrong. When you start to
mhm,
hear people say, that's too good to be true. No, I think there's something wrong with my partner. They intentionally look for things, and guess what? Their brains keep bringing those things to them that they remain unhappy. Now, if you understand what your brain is also capable of now, your brain runs your whole life if you don't know. When you are
mhm.
sleeping at night, your brain regulates your heartbeat, your lungs, everything else. So you are sleeping, you're not doing anything, but your brain is busy regulating your life. Now, when you go to sleep at night, some people say I'm having dreams. No, 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 no. Dreams are a recollection of what's happening in your environment, plus what your brain is projecting for you in the future. That's why people say you need to follow and chase your dreams, because in your dreams, there's messages coming from where? From your brain. So your brain is
Right.
able to create your future. Your brain
Mhm.
is able to create your failure. Your brain is able to create your successes. So if your brain is an environment that's not creating positive stuff for yourself, you can rest assured that 90% of your life will be lived in a toxic environment.
Right, right. So, like, looking at like social media, for example, people, I sometimes see people posting the photos of the couple and they be like, oh, it's bowling or couple goals or whatever the case may be. And then I'm, but I'm wondering, like, have we deviated from what love is supposed to be because of what we see on social media? Have we been influenced by social media to sort of manipulate how we think of love, how we view love, and so on? And so when we go into relationship, then our mindset is completely wrong because of what we're seeing on social media, on television, and what we are reading, and so on.
One of the things that we study, within psychology is media. So we want to understand the impact and the effect of media. You can achieve. And as much as some of these things, are staged and created, they're not necessarily, reality, or could be achieved. But most of the stuff that we see in media could be achieved. So what media is trying to say to you is that you need to learn to set the standard. Do not just see a great couple and then bowel them. See a great couple and aspire to that level. See a great couple and say, but they are not willing to go and put in the hard work of becoming that which they are inspired by. So I'm saying that if you look at media and you can use media effectively, you can become the great person, because why? There is so much information available today in the media. There is so much in info that can help you to become a better person and step out of your comfort zone. Unfortunately, most people are just there to become spies. They are spying to see who's doing what, and they're not doing anything with their life. And instead, when somebody says Zbaul, the very same person, if tomorrow that very same couple that they posted is going through a divorce, they become the first person to say we knew it was not going to last. So in their mind, they aspire to become that, but they are doubtful because they know that we will never ever achieve that. So social media could be used as a tool, a powerful tool for that matter, to help people to become their greatest, because there is so much that standard that we can set for ourselves. I mean, we grew up in a family where, especially where I come from, I did not see successful marriages. I did not see
Mhm,
successful relationships. So I only see successful relationship in the street or in the media.
mhm,
Now, if I'm seeing that in the media, I can say to myself, but I can, I push myself to become that. But I will need to go find out what does it take for one to get to that level. Instead of me just bowling, I need to put in the work. While I'm bowling
mhm.
something, I'm going to put in the work and I'm going to find enough information. I'm going to speak to Sir Charles and find out how did you make it happen. I'm available every single day. I post my numbers on daily basis, but very few people contact me. Very people,
Yeah.
I've got a seminar coming on now on the 2nd of April. Very people come to me and say, we want to become the best in our marriages. How can we do it? We are not using media for the greatest, but we are using media to just fall into depression, to see what other people are doing nice, and then we can envy them and do nothing about what they are achieving.
You know, it fascinates me how much, like, I follow you, and you give so much information on social media, and it still fascinates me how people still, like, but we are battling as a relationship. People are battling in marriage, but you, on a daily basis, you are updating and giving people information that, guys, do this, do that, try this, try that, or whatever. But still, like, I don't understand how we miss that. How do we miss that?
I'm
And
going
the
to help you.
information that and then information that you are giving, like, it's free. You're giving information on Facebook for free. You're not saying click here and then pay me 100 rand before you can access this. It is for free, and yet people still are having difficulties. Like,
I'm going to tell you something, Charles, that many people don't realize something, that the most important decision in a person's life is a relationship
mhm,
decision. Relationship decision, it's something that can make or break your life.
mhm,
It's easier to manage businesses, it's easier to manage finances, it's easier to manage stuff that is that is not alive, stuff that is just durable there, stuff that is fixated, because you don't have to reason with it, you know but when it comes to human beings, it becomes the most difficult thing, because human beings can reason, human beings can
mhm,
have values, human beings can have principles. So some people are struggling because they haven't invested themselves in the areas of learning more about relationships. They thinking relationships is a given. It's not really a
mhm,
given, because even if you live now, you can get into your car now and go to the most remote areas of the world where we've got certain tribes that live there. In order for you to live with them, you'll have to learn their way of living. I
mhm,
was saying yesterday to a couple that you get married into a vendor family, but you never spend time learning anything about vendor people. You never learn anything about how do vendors do things. You never learn anything about the history of the vendors, but you want to go and get married in there. And
mhm.
tomorrow, when things happen, you start going around saying, "Nah, never, my vendor, my shop, my vendor." No, there's nothing wrong with them. There's everything wrong with you, because you never gave yourself an opportunity to learn their social ways of doing things. You never gotten to understand that how did these people survive for all these years? What is it that is holding them together? What is it that is making them to become successful in this area or that area? You just want to go in there and have this guy and sleep with him, and that's it. but you are missing out on the most important aspect, because every society, is governed by certain rites, rituals, and traditions, and so forth. That you can't just go in there and want to impose yours. Your job is to go in there and understand theirs. And because it is you who want to live with them. And we make that mistake that you find a Zulu and a Pedi person getting married, but none of them understand the culture of the Pedi or of the Zulus. And suddenly, even a Zulu guy does not even understand his own cultures, but he wants to impose it on their partner. Because no, this is what they've been doing, Ekai. Why are they doing it? Where does it come from? What is the significance of that? What does it mean for our children? So, so people struggle, and they still are not willing, because they are not willing to go and learn how other people live. I mean, they are willing to learn to go how to trade Bitcoin, but when it comes to relationship, they don't see the need to learn that. And that is the most difficult area of every person's life. Go to mental institutions now. Most of the people who are in there, relationship problems, mental problems, life problems. So why, if people can find themselves even admitted in hospitals, why won't we take the time to go and invest in learning more about relationships and marriages?
Like the one thing that, like, from since we started this conversation, one thing that I'm learning from what I'm hearing from you is that when I go into a relationship, it has to first be not necessarily about me, but I have to have the right attitude, the right mindset going into that relationship. Not worry about what the next person is going to do for me, what I'm going to get out of that relationship.
Hello? Are we there?
Okay, I lost you there for a second. Yeah, but I can hear you now.
Yes. So you were saying mindset is the most important thing, not what I'm going to get out of the relationship and so forth, isn't it?
Yes, because, like, I feel like when we go into relationship, we go in it for selfish reasons, or into marriage, we go into it for selfish reasons. So so if that's the approach and that's the attitude, it's going to fail, even like it has failed even from the beginning, because I'm going in it not with the right behavior, not with the right attitude, not with the right mindset to make this thing work, right?
When you go into a relationship for selfish reasons, it's actually better. Most people
Okay.
go into relationships and they don't know why. That's where the problem is. Why do I want to be in a relationship? Number one. Number two, why do I want to be with that particular person? Number three,
Right.
who am I going to be to them? Number four, how do I want to engage with them? Now, we don't ask these questions because we think they're not necessary and they're not relevant. Now, many marriages happened because there was a child, not because there was a purposeful intention to be with a particular person. They proposed me, and therefore Arajola, life goes on. But in essence, you start to realize that some people, say Charles, they don't necessarily need relationships. What they need is to go and heal. They use relationships as rehabilitation centers. They hop from one relationship hoping they will be healed. And when they don't get the healing, they blame the other person. They hop into the next and the next and the next and the next. So that's why I say to you that you need to be questioning yourself. Do I want to be in a relationship? Number one. If the answer is yes, the second question is why and with who, and who do I become in that relationship? So once you start understanding that, then you need to say, okay, am I psychologically ready to be in one relationship? Am I understanding my own psyche? Because, there's something that I love about the Bible. It speaks about our creation, which is maleness and femaleness. As a female, how do I operate, in as opposed to how men operate? Now,
Mm-hmm.
most people don't even know how they operate as a female or as a male. They just don't know that. That is the
Mm-hmm.
most important aspect that one needs to understand, because male and female don't operate the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you find a lot of problems in marriages, because one expects the other one to do this way, but they don't realize to say, you know what, this person functions in this way as a male, number one. As a male, I function this way as a female. They also function in this way as a result of their upbringing. I function
Mm-hmm.
in this way as a result of my upbringing. They want to come and impose their way of functioning onto their partner, and now and again they fail. So before you jump into a relationship, you gotta determine the why of the relationship. And that's why I always say that you need to look at somebody and see who they are dating. If this person is not dating consistently, then you know that they're just all over. But when you look at the people that they date and you can see a pattern, then you know that they're on the right track, because they know what they want. Now, you don't just date somebody because their friends hooked you up. No, it doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
You date somebody because they are in line with what you value, they are in line with what you propose, they are in line with what you principles. Now, usually people don't do that. And they end up going in.
Hello, are you
Are we
still
are we
there,
still
Mr.
there?
Elijah? I'm losing.
Yeah, are we still there? I'm asking the same
Okay,
question.
yeah, no, I can hear you now. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can hear you now.
So you got what I was saying there.
Yeah, yes, I did. So
Yeah.
here's a big question. You know how women go around saying men are trash? Are men trash? Are men trash? Like, just generally looking at how men do things and how men behave, are men really trash? Like, generally, not every man, but generally, are men really trash?
You know, maybe let's have a roundtable, Charles, in your next episode of what you're doing there. Maybe
Uh-huh.
let's invite women and let's invite men. Now, I want to know, number one, when we use the hashtag or the phrase "men are trash," what
Mm-hmm.
exactly are we relating? Are we referring to? Number one, because if you were in a situation whereby a guy treated you indecently, uh, it happened in that environment, it happened as that event, but
Mm-hmm.
that does not give you a right to say men are trash. And even if six men have treated people bad wherever, that does
Mm-hmm.
not give us a right to say men are trash. There is a lot that is said about men by women, and there is too little that is said about women by men. When a man cheat, women are quick to say men cheat.